Hello, everyone. It's hard to argue that a military with an eye in the sky has far more superiority than those countries that have minimal or no air support. So, how do we get the technology or the idea of flight? It goes back to Da Vinci's ornithopter, being one of man's earliest ideas of flight that was documented or written down. The technology from these early documents has been used to develop some of the most advanced military aircraft of all time. Each branch of military in the U.S. possesses aircraft, each aircraft having its own unique mission, yet sharing some of the same technology that was derived from Da Vinci's earliest drawings. The role of military aircraft has evolved immensely from Da Vinci's earliest drawings and over the past century. From the days of heroic dogfights in World War I to the long-range strike capability of the new F-35. We've seen how each individual fighting concept has been used to combat our enemies with success time and time again. Da Vinci should be thanked immensely for his contributions. In a moment, we'll be discussing four types of aircraft, beginning with Da Vinci's ornithopter, the EA-6B Prowler, OH-58 helicopter, and the Navy's C-40A Clipper. Join me in the sky as we take a look at some essential aircraft the military uses today.
On April 15th, 1452, a genius was born. Leonardo da Vinci was and still is the epitome of mechanical aptitude. Many of his designs were meant for military use, and while never put into service, they served as an ample food for thought for inquisitive minds since then. Some of da Vinci's military designs that led up to the ornithopter were a giant crossbow, tanks, submarines, and one that more than likely inspired the Wright brothers, the ornithopter. The ornithopter is Greek for bird, and this design was found in Da Vinci's Codex, which was a collection of his scientific writings. So how does it work? Well, the aviators would lay on a plank, work the wings with handles and pulleys. This achieved lift. While the ornithopter was never actually built, it served as a noteworthy starting point, lighting a warm fire in the hearts of those who love aviation. Since then, flying examples have been successful. I feel as though that without this idea, humans would still be wallowing in a pool of thick aerial complexity, not to mention the military.
So what is the EA-6B? In front of me I have a model of what the EA-6B looks like, and behind me there's a poster board with the picture of the EA-6B on it as well. So what's the primary mission of this aircraft? Well, their primary mission is to protect fleet surface units like ships and other aircraft by jamming hostile radars, their communications, and radar-guided surface-to-air missiles. The EA-6B is an integral part of the United States military's first line of defense. In what areas would you likely see an EA-6B to be deployed? Well, the EA-6B Prowler is included to every aircraft carrier deployment and to several hotspots throughout the world, to include Iraq and Afghanistan, and also to Korea to counter the North Korean threat. The EA-6B will remain in use by the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marine Corps until the end of 2019, when the newer version of the jammer will be fully operational. The EA-6B Prowler is the only military's tactical electronic aircraft. It provides an umbrella of protection for strike aircraft, ground troops, and ships by jamming enemy radar, their electronic data links, and communications. Thank you.
The OH-58D, the Kiowa Warrior. The Kiowa Warrior is an armed scout helicopter. It provides route security for ground troops, quick reaction force support, and reconnaissance support in any environment. Now, these aircraft are stationed from Alaska to Hawaii and are deployed throughout the world. Now, the OH-58 Alpha and Charlie models were used in the Vietnam era. They provided reconnaissance without the sophisticated equipment. The aircraft then only had two main rotor blades, no weapons, and could accommodate passengers. Today's Delta model has fixed weapons to include 2.75-inch rockets, Hellfire missiles, and a 50 caliber machine gun. Also, the mast-mounted sight contains a TV and thermal imaging sensor, along with a laser range finder designator. Now, the future of the Kiowa Warrior is grim. The Army has made a couple of attempts to replace the aircraft, to include the Comanche, a stealth helicopter, and the Armed Reconnaissance Helicopter. Both programs were discontinued. Also, the Fox model seems it may never enter production. The Army is leaning towards replacing the Kiowa Warrior with more Apaches and teaming them up with unmanned aerial vehicles. Thank you.
The C-48 Clipper is deployed in 3 areas in the world. In the Far East, it's stationed at Naval Air Facility at Sugi, Japan. In the Middle East, it's in Naval Air Base Bahrain. And in Europe, we have detachments in Sigonella, Sicily. Its role is a Navy unique fleet essential aircraft providing responsive, flexible, and rapid deployable logistics support for combat sustainment, humanitarian, and peacetime operations. The future of the C-40 is pretty bright. It's basically like used as almost like a FedEx for the Navy. They do CAG movements and transport millions of pounds of cargo each year. The C-40 has replaced the DC-9, C-9B, and soon the G-450s. It'll be the primary logistics support aircraft, along with the C-130 Hercules.
Today we have heard about many great aircraft, starting from the very beginning with the earliest known original drawings of the ornithopter by Leonardo da Vinci. We have also heard about the military battlefield classics, including the tactical electronic warfare of the EA-6B Prowler, the Armed Reconnaissance Helicopter, the OH-58 Kiowa, and the logistical support aircraft, the C-48 Clipper. Military aircraft each have their own special mission on the battlefield and while they're at their home station. All of these aircraft have a place in history and will continue to make military and aviation history in the future.